Welcome to Really Bad F1, and today we rate our 5 worst driver pairings. Let's get into it. Go on, Jack, number 5.
Well, my number five is Williams. So I did initially struggle with where this one was going to go. And obviously, if you look at our previous video on our top five, I said it there as well. So the only reason I've gone with these is, we haven't really seen enough of Sargent yet.
Yeah.
I think they're probably quite good for each other, but I think that dynamic, it could work. It could work. We just
Yeah,
need to see how it goes this season. Depends on how that car is. I mean, Albon was brilliant last season.
he was sensational.
With the news that overshadowed Haas's car reveal, but I can see Albon possibly going to Mercedes. Maybe.
You know what? Higher linked, it wouldn't shock me.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But no, I've left them there. Just I thought middle ground seems about right for quite a new partnership, for quite a young driver, and for someone who definitely outdrove his car last season.
Definitely.
So who did you go for?
See, my number 5 is Alpine.
Okay.
It's an alright partnership. Both the drivers are great drivers. Gasly's probably just a little better, but that's not against Stockholm whatsoever. It's the actual pairing that you always know there's a knife edge between them. There's bad blood between them. There has been since they were young. And they do follow team orders, as proved in Suzuka last year, but they don't like it, especially because they just know. So how long will they actually follow team orders and work as a team? If they like each other, I think it's a great partnership, and I put it as one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But I don't see them individually great drivers. As a team, you can have better.
Yeah, you can. I mean, I think I rated them in my top five. To be fair, but it's one of those, isn't it? It's a bit of an odd one.
Yeah. Right. Go on then. What would be your number 4?
My number four is the team formerly known as AlphaTauri. Visa Cash App Racing Balls, or VCarb.
Mastercard Lola.
Mastercard Lola. No, I've put them fourth. It's not anything to do with Danny Rick as such.
Okay.
It's more to do with Sonoda. I just think that, don't get me wrong, you had a decent season. It wasn't anything to
Yeah, the great season.
yeah, you had decent. I was going to say it wasn't anything to really go running home about. Okay, fair enough. He, obviously beat Ricardo over the course of the season, but Ricardo was driving for half of it.
Yeah.
And also injured. I think if Danny Rick was there the entire season, I think he would probably, I say probably, I reckon he would have outdrove Sonoda quite easily. Just given the experience more than anything else. And Sonoda's quiet, and Danny Rick's the loveliest man on the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think, I don't know, they've got a lot to prove, I think, next season. Visa Cash App, Red Bull racing drivers, VCarb.
Racing Red Bull drivers in the Red Bull RB.
Yeah. I wonder how many times they're going to mess up and call him AlphaTauri.
Just call him Toro Rosso. Why just go back? Go call them Minardi.
Just
call him
Go on, who have you gone for number 4 then?
Ironically, Alpha Cashback RB.
Very nice.
No, it's same reason for you. I think I'd put them higher if Ricardo had more time in the car. I think if he'd not broke his wrists and actually had those extra 3 or 4 races, I could see them being a better partnership. And Yuki's young, still know it's his 3rd season, isn't it? We're going into his 3rd?
I want to say so. Something like that. Yeah, he's still new. Yeah.
Yeah, but he's saying new. He's starting to come experienced now. He's not a rookie anymore.
No.
The speed is being shown. The temper can be a good thing, but he's let it get to him still a couple of times. If he can just control that temper and anger, he is one heck of a driver. Danny, we know he's got it in him. We've seen it in past seasons, but has he fully recovered from McLaren yet? We don't know. I
Yeah, I
think
mean,
this season will be a lot for them both to prove themselves.
yeah, and with the thoughts that possibly Perez may end up without a seat, Danny Rick could be filling that in. He probably wants to be proven that he could just jump in a Red Bull and provide good backup to try and win the constructors. That's what he'd be needed for. Verstappen will go out and win the races. You're not expecting Danny Rick to win anything. You just make sure that he gets as many points as possible. That'll
But
be
be in a
it.
position to win it if anything goes happen to Max.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. But can't really predict what's going to come up. I suppose we haven't
No,
really
very
seen enough
true.
cars yet. At this point in recording, we've literally seen Haas and we've seen McLaren. What feels like about 3 weeks ago now.
Right then, so you're number 3 then, go on.
So if any of you have returned to watch this part, you'll notice I had a massive omission from my top 5. Red Bull. I
What?
put Red Bull. Yeah.
What?
Yep. I've gone with Red Bull. My number
So
3.
you're saying Red Bull is technically the 8th worst driver partnership in on the grid?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So I can't really speak to what their off-field, I say off-field, but away from the racing track, what their relationship's like. I'm sure it's probably pretty good. I just think that Max is being painted as this knight in shining armor, and he's amazing. Nothing he does is wrong. Perez is like Cinderella before she got the dress. You know, I don't think it's a very healthy relationship,
No,
specifically
I
for
agree.
Perez. You know, they're too bothered about making sure Max gets the win. Max himself is too bothered about making sure he gets as many points as humanly possible, which is fair enough. Its competitiveness within the sport is fantastic. You
Hmm.
don't want a bunch of people just driving around going, "Oh, sorry, I don't want to pass you." I just don't think the relationship is healthy for Perez personally.
I don't disagree. As Max, amazing driver, very selfish. You have to be selfish in this sport, but you also need to be a team player. He had a good. He was alright the first season. He's proved he's not up to the challenge. Okay, don't wrong, I know Ferrari we only won one race last season as the only team to not, like, apart from Red Bull, to win a race. But Perez has proved he's not on the right positions at the right time.
Yeah, he had the fastest car on the track by about a million miles. Everyone
And
was on the starting grid. You set off, and Max had already finished the race. Perez should have been doing the same. Maybe not exactly the same because Verstappen drove very well. I'm not his biggest fan or anything, but he did drive very well. Perez needs a move. He needs to go somewhere else. And
I don't think he can move though. I think if he leaves Red Bull, he's gone.
that's a possibility in itself, but we'll have to see what happens. There's bound to be a bit of a mix-up mid-season. Perez could end up somewhere else. He could. Do you know what? Perez could even end up at Mercedes. You never know. It wouldn't be the worst partnership on the planet. George
It
is a bit
wouldn't.
selfish. But it wouldn't be like having another Max. He's surplus to requirements.
Fair enough.
I think Perez to Mercedes would be a better move than Sainz to Mercedes.
Oh,
Personally,
I disagree with that one.
yeah, just my thinking. But anyway, we're getting
Yeah,
into
tangents.
too many others. So, who have you got at your number 3?
See, I went with a bit more reasonable team here. I went with Williams.
Okay, yeah.
See, I think I've got them that low because Albon carries the team.
Oh yeah, by
Don't
far.
get me
Yeah,
wrong, I know Sargent's a rookie. Well, he's not a rookie now technically, but he was a rookie. He still has a lot to prove. He only got 1 point last season, and that was through other drivers getting disqualified. He might have the potential to be an okay driver, to be a decent F1 driver who gets a few podiums in his career, and that's it.
like a solid number 2.
Yeah, but I don't
Yeah,
ever see him being more than a mid-pack driver at most. I don't want to be
yeah.
harsh to him. I I could not drive anywhere near as good as him. I know that much. I don't ever see him more than a okay mid-pack driver.
No, no, fair enough, fair enough. I mean, to be fair, I agree with all those points. I don't know. I was a bit more favourable with them in 5th, I suppose.
I get that. I mean, Albon single-handedly nearly got them to beat Alpine at one point in the constructors. Well, it was looking like that at one point anyway.
Yeah, it
If
could
imagine
happen.
if Sargent was just getting a few extra points there. Right, go on then. What's your number 2?
I've gone with Steak. Yeah, no, I've gone with them. I just think Joe's, eh. And Bottas is, I think they're just for money.
With Bottas, I think he's in his Kimi era. He's there just for the vibes, to have fun. He's there because he has fun. He's not there to be super competitive anymore.
I mean, being there for the vibes and having fun explains his hairdo. So,
Exactly. His calendar, his hairdo, everything.
I don't know. I think that partnership again is probably good behind the scenes, and that's probably the case for everybody. Throughout this video and the last video, I'm sure behind the scenes is great. That's what I can assume. Um, but I just don't know. I just don't think the relationship really works. You want to be pushing each other, and I just don't really see that that's the case. Not really. Like Joe's there, kind of just there. He exists, and it's like, oh, there's Joe. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, hi.
Hello.
Um,
Forgot you was
you
there.
know, I think there'll be a better partnership. I think if you swapped out one with somebody else, doesn't matter which one you swapped out. I think there probably could be a better relationship or a better partnership or whatever. I mean, they were very close to being my worst. Very close. I ended up just going, okay, I'm going to have to write down A team in first, A team in second.
Yeah.
It is a very close toss up, to be honest.
I think the two worst teams on the grid, I think it is very nip until who's worst.
It is, yeah, and I'm trying to take the car out of it as much as I can.
Yeah.
But I suppose when you're a smaller team, smaller budget, you're only going to be able to afford certain people. I'd have
True, even
said
with this cost cap.
I'd have said axe Joe and then bring in a young gun from somewhere. Have someone actually behind Bottas and be like, look, this is how we drive, but be calm, be comfortable, and just enjoy yourself whilst you're doing it. That wouldn't have been the
Well,
worst thing.
there's one driver that you name that hotshot. There's one driver people have been raving about for the last couple of years. I think
Mm.
the only reason he might not be in that team right now is because Joe's money. Don't get me wrong, Joe is an okay driver. Again, with Sargent, I think he'd be a decent mid-pack driver.
Yeah,
But Theo Porsche is in Stakes F1 Academy,
yeah,
killing it in F2.
mm.
I think the only reason he's not there is because he hasn't got the sponsorship behind him.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that could be it. I mean, if he's doing it that well in F2, I don't see why he hasn't already been picked up by somebody else. Maybe I don't know how it works fully, but I don't know why somebody else hasn't tried taking him.
I
Like
think
a
it's only
Piastri.
because it was only his first season, F2 last season. He didn't win it, but he did well.
Okay, okay, yeah.
So
I mean,
maybe
yeah,
Joe's
see,
just that stopgap till Theo Porsche is in there. So maybe one more season for Theo in F2,
mm.
and then in he goes.
That's if Bottas doesn't decide to put his boots up.
Well, you never know. It could be signed in Porsche in 2025.
Could be. We just have to wait and see, I suppose. Who have you got for number two? Obviously, we've left ourselves with two teams. So, which way
Yeah.
around have you put it?
I wonder who it could be. It'll be Haas. You don't feel inspired. You go, ugh. And don't get me wrong, Magnussen and Hulkenberg, both of them are proven drivers. You know they're going to get you points,
Yeah.
but it's not. Where's the ambition? The
So,
two older people in the sport.
yeah.
Hulkenberg's never had a podium. Don't get me wrong, probably should have had a couple at least, but he's never had
Mm.
one. Magnussen's had one. They're going to get you points, and that's it. If the car's
Yeah.
good enough.
Yeah. I think that this is why they're my number one is literally the reasons that you're saying, and I think that I wouldn't have been as hard on Haas this way round. Like I think they would have been a little bit higher if it was a case of they had a young driver, someone who was hungry to
Yeah.
win, had a desire. Then I'd have probably gone, all right, do you know what? I'll put them above stake. They need to switch up majorly. The cars just got revealed. They're already on the back foot. I don't see what direction they're currently going in, other
It,
than probably backwards towards the back of the pack.
well,
Last two
it's
cars.
already been announced today after the car reveal that their car is 2 months behind schedule,
Is
and
it
that's
that bad?
because
Yeah, I'd seen it was bad, but I hadn't actually read it fully. I just seen that it wasn't good.
Yeah, so that upgrade they got in Kota last year,
Yeah,
they pushed that and stopped development on this year's car instead. So that pushed the development for the 2024 car back by 2 months just at getting an upgrade in Kota.
a decision like that, I can see why Steiner left or
But
got pushed.
the comments they've made is that upgrade has helped them understand that they've went in the right direction with the car. So
Mm.
maybe this car's a hidden gem. We don't know.
Oh yeah,
But the official word is they are 2 months behind schedule on their car.
that would be the perfect time to put someone young in, to give them a go at F1, to get them just go around and be like, look, we're not expecting anything of you. We're not expecting you to get any points. Just go, drive, enjoy yourself. Would have been the perfect time because there's zero expectation then.
And that worked out so well for Mick Schumacher.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, true. Bring Mick back. I fully agree with you. It was fine margins, and it's pointless me saying what my number one is. That's why I've put him there. It's
Yeah.
just, I don't see the point of that team.
I want them to
It's
succeed. Their first season was probably their best season they've had in F1, which is a shame to say. See, what I don't get is they let a team like the people that wear Haas are probably talented as hell. They're
oh
probably
yeah,
amazing
yeah,
at what they do.
yeah.
But they're letting a team like Haas be in a sport with no ambition, no drive. The people behind the team probably do, but the owner does not.
Nope.
Whereas Andretti, who want to be in the sport, proven in so many disciplines, IndyCar and NASCAR, they want to go in the sport, they want to push forward. And F1 now went, no. Like, what if Andretti not got that Haas have got? They've got a bigger budget, they've got more teams overall, like if you include NASCAR and IndyCar, they've got more teams. Like,
Mhm.
they have the backing, they have the money.
Yeah.
Don't get it.
Anyway, that's a whole different topic for
That's a rant and a Haas and
probably.
Andretti. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go on. So then, why have you then put steak at number one?
It's similar to Haas, but the second drive is just worse in Joe. But they're both steady hands. Bottas, if he races as well as he can do, will get you good points. But Joe, if you said Joe, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, who's the worst driver out of them three, you pick Joe.
Yeah,
And that's not against Joe. Joe, again, he's a good driver. He's a decent mid-pack driver.
yeah.
None of the drivers on any of these teams are bad drivers. They're not a Latifi, they're not a Mazepin. Don't get wrong, Latifi was actually okay as well, but they're nowhere near as Mazepin was.
Or meme worthy as Latifi, although George is up there. For memes, yeah.
But they're not these paid drivers. They might bring a lot of money with them,
Mm.
but they actually have skill. But Joe just his skill level and ceiling just isn't as high as the rest of them. Out of
Yeah,
those four drivers, Joe's the last one I'd choose to get you decent points.
I think
And
he'd be the first one. If you were literally looking around F1 to go, who are we getting rid of? It'd be him.
him and Sargent will be the first two names on the list.
Yeah, that was our worst five driver pairings on the grid. We've got another video which you should go and check out. It was our top five. I'll put it up on the screen somewhere in this ethereal mess. And yeah, we'll see you next Monday for probably an update on all the cars that have been revealed.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see you then, and have a good week. Bye.
Bye.